masculine and feminine energy. They're both within all of us. Doesn't matter how masculine you are, doesn't matter how feminine and pretty you are. We all have these within us. And as soon as society can start embracing it, it'll be for the better. There was a time when I don't know if I wanted to be trans exactly, but I use the word trans. I don't know how I'm going to describe it. Am I going to describe it as transgender? Am I going to describe it as a feminine man? Either way, there was a time I was deeply in my feminine physically. I still have the masculine and feminine in my brain, as far as my feminine is so great as far as reaching out to the universe and bringing things forth to me. It's pretty good. As far as my outer world and how I portray myself on the internet, I took a more feminine, or what our society deems as feminine, approach. I feel like I mastered my feminine energy. I've pretty much kind of grown up with it in terms of having certain interest in certain toys and colors and stuff like that, and just softer things, and just being a softer natured person in general. However, now I have completely decided to embrace my masculine energy and my masculine side, not just in the world and my energies in my head and how I move to the world, but physically. I do remember there was a time when I decided I'm going to completely embrace masculinity. It happened after a car accident. I got into a car accident, and I've heard of things like this happening before, where you can get into an accident and it can shift you. It could really like knock you out of frame energetically. And it definitely happened to me. I got into this car accident, I don't know, like 2020 or 2021, one of those. And I remember just sitting in my room. I just had this feeling almost like this feeling of nobody's gonna save you kind of feeling. And it kind of pushed me or motivated me to embrace my, I guess you could say, not to be cringy, but divine masculine energy. I started practicing semen retention and stuff like that, which I still approve of, and I will be talking about. I love semen retention. I remember making a conscious choice to change my aesthetic, my style, from more feminine to more masculine. A lot of people have a hard time wrapping their mind around this, because in society we're taught to always go by the story you told about yourself. Because if you don't go by the story you told about yourself, well, that means you're inauthentic and you're a liar and a fraud. Now, I'm so happy for all the people who tell the story about themselves and how they are, and have just been able to go with that story till the day they die. I think that's awesome. However, that's not my path. My path is to play dress up and experience. Because here's the thing. Even when I was experiencing more of my feminine side, externally we're talking about, I still was playing dress up. I still was cosplaying, still was pretending, because I wasn't extremely feminine or extremely masculine. I just was playing in the feminine. I'm playing in it, and it brings me to this point of where I'm at now. An example of expressing masculinity in the physical form. I decided to lift weights more. I decided to fuck more. I decided to put my dick into things. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. But there was a point in time when, I didn't want anything touching. I didn't want you to touch my dick. I mean, I'm fine with that, but I like people touching my dick, but I'd pretend to not like people touching my dick. And so I'm playing in the feminine. I'm experiencing it. And now I decided to basically do the opposite. And I feel that I'm at the point now where I've definitely mastered the feminine. And I'm definitely mastering the masculine too. Now that's a journey. But I still made the conscious effort to I mentally changed it before it started to physically manifest. And now it's to the point where women are hitting on me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't plan to go into my masculine and plan to be attracted to women. It just kind of happened. And the thing for me is, it's not that I wasn't attracted to them, it's just more so they were never an option. And then when I started embracing my masculinity more, they became more of an option to me. It's like a whole new world that I didn't even know about. And I was like, oh shit. Like you realize like they're looking at me for something different now. Like it's a weird experience. With femininity, you don't have to prove yourself. You could just freaking, oh, I'm femme now. You know, I'm trans. You know, but when you want to be masculine, it's a choice. You have to prove yourself. And I've learned to be a man, it's not about just being born a male. And this is where I get offended when people will try and shame a transgender person and say, oh, that's a man in a wig, that's a man in a wig. Hold up now, because now I'm getting offended. That's a male in a wig. And the reason why I'm offended is because I remember making the decision consciously to embrace my manhood, embrace masculinity in its physical form. I remember making that choice in my brain. And those trans women, they didn't make that choice in their brain. They made the choice to go the opposite path. We were both at a crossroads of destiny. We said, which way are we going to go? Most of them tend to go they transition or they stay a femboy. Me, I decided to go the opposite way and embrace my masculinity. It's kind of like those old Native American tribes where they send you off to kill an animal and bring it back and show the kill. You know, you're a man now. It's like one of those rituals kind of thing. You make the decision in your head to be a man and like accept masculinity and manhood. So to just call a trans woman that they're a man, yeah, they're a male, they're born biologically male, but to say they're a man, well, no, that's not a man, and it's actually really offensive to me to call them a man because that's two different things. You don't always have to tell the same story you told about yourself. I consciously made the choice, and no one can shame me about it. No one can tell me, oh, you'll always be what you were, because it's not true. And the thing is, I had to let it physically manifest first in order to prove myself. I couldn't just come out back then and say that. If I said that back then, people would laugh. People would be like, what are you talking about, Miles? But I decided to start embracing that side. And the interesting part I noticed about that, I got 100 times the people more attracted to me, basically. Let's say like some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like there's so many more people that are attracted to me. And it's not an experience I expected to go through with that, but that's one of the things I did learn from not being feminine physically anymore to trying to transition into like masculinity more so in a physicalness, because I still have both within my brain and I can still go there. It's just I'm talking about physical. Is something I notice is a lot of people are attracted to me now. It's weird, but makes sense. I didn't realize that fully, but I started to slowly see that happen, and now here we are. There was a time when I thought about transitioning and being a trans woman. A trans woman is a man who transitions into a woman. And I had to really think about it, and I said, do I want to go that route? Do I want to make my life harder? For what? It wasn't in me like that. It wasn't deep enough for me. There's a good amount of people who they transition because they're a femboy. Like you'll be a femboy and then you feel like, well, I'm gonna transition, and then they'll like detransition. You know what I mean? I didn't want that to be the case. Now that's not. I don't think that's most trans people. That would have been me though. So I consciously asked myself, like, do I want to make my life harder? Is it really that worth it to me? And no. And after that car accident, I really made that conscious choice to be man, be masculine as, in my own way, and embrace these certain things. That's when I started to discover how, I'm actually bisexual and stuff like that. That's why that started to happen, because when something's not an option to you, you don't really, well, me, I don't really waste time dreaming and fantasizing about things. When something's not an option to me, well, that's it. I'm moving on. So when I started to embrace my masculine more, and then I saw women checking me out and stuff like that, coming up to me, asking a friend to hit on me for them at these certain heterosexual functions and stuff like that. Then I was like, oh shit. Like it's pretty cool to me. I love this. Like this is life. This is what life's about. Experiencing. Like I was extremely feminine then, and now I'm me how I am now. You call me what you want. Even my voice, I remember putting on, like, come on, let's be real. This whole gay voice thing, for me, it wasn't real. I was just like talking like that because I felt like that's how you're supposed to talk as a gay person, kind of. Or it's just like that's how they all talk. I don't know. I don't know what made me think that. I just felt like, oh, I'm gay now, so I get to talk like this. And it did excite me. And that is what I wanted to do. It's just what we're not going to do is we're not going to make it seem like, oh, you're a fake top, or oh, you're a fake masculine. But then when you're feminine, it's like, oh, that's really them. That's really you. That's the real you. We're not going to be like, oh, Miles, you're suppressing the real you. No, I'm not suppressing the real me, because that wasn't the real me either. I was pretending as well. It's just that we want to accept that before we accept someone being a man. And the reason why that is because to be a man, you have to be tested. You know what I'm saying? You have to be tested. You have to choose it. It's a journey. You have to be embraced by other men too. It's not just, oh, I decided to be like, so there's other things. I get why people do that. But however, when I was in my more feminine side physically, put my voice on. Like, people can talk however they want to talk. They could talk high, they could talk low. Everybody is putting on, in my opinion. In my opinion. Now, I think some people, they just create themselves early on. And it goes on so long that it just feels natural. But me, I'm like, what Lana Del Rey said? She said, a chameleon soul, no fixed direction or personality. That's how I am. And I'm here to help show you that you can do that as well. You don't have to be a coffee person till the day you die. And you don't have to be a tea person till the day you die. You can experience life if you want to. You don't have to. But yeah, this was about the day I decided to not transition into a woman. This is the day that I decided to be a man, as they say.